So with no further ado, let's show him how grateful we are for him.
Good morning. We can almost go home after Michael. Michael, I love that. Thank you so very much. And it pretty much says the whole service of the whole sermon of what I want to talk about. So okay if I lay this back here, Maggie? Jerry is letting me use his iPad today because he's got my computer. So give me just 1 second to get set up. Maggie, is it okay if I put these aside? Okay. There we go. Awesome. There we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're going to talk about gratitude. Thank you for being here today. Did you check out your cards on your chairs? It looks like some people haven't opened them. Check those out. Those are from me. And let you know that I'm thankful that you're here today. Thank you for coming and supporting our wonderful community. And thank you for coming and supporting me as I give the talk today. So thank you very much for being here. When I presented previous lessons a while back, I spoke about prayer and forgiveness. I spoke about prayer like 3 times, I think, and forgiveness once. And each time, I mentioned that we were developing spiritual tools. Do you remember that? So I got to thinking, well, maybe I should talk a little bit more about what that spiritual toolbox is. So I think we all know what a traditional toolbox is. It's got all kinds of useful gadgets and tools that we can use around the house. And maybe something needs to be fixed or repaired, or maybe we're going to build something or make an art project or something of that nature. So the same is true for our spiritual toolbox, except that our tools are, can you guess what they are? Love, compassion, prayer, forgiveness, and yes, even gratitude. So with regards to our spiritual toolbox, the bigger question, I think, is what is our project? I think our spiritual project is to live our best, happiest, and fullest life while contributing to the world at large and around us. I believe our best life includes a deep, empowered connection to the higher universe and to Spirit, God, or whatever you call your higher power. And y'all, it's a lifelong process with many twists and turns, and I think most of us can tell when we're sort of in that flow, when we're clicking, when we're in the flow of divine grace, so to speak. And we can understand that when connection is deepening with Spirit, and we can feel our oneness with God. We experience moments of spiritual realizations and breakthroughs. Doors begin opening for us. People start to show up to help us, and we feel divinely guided. And I know that to be true because when I was in school, people started showing up. People started showing up. People started assisting me, and people helped me and guided me. And so things happen when you're in the flow. Things happen when you're in what I call the path of grace. So this graceful state of being in the flow is a result of getting a grip. Remember how I talked about getting a grip on forgiveness? Just one little bitty grip if you could. So this is about getting a grip on divine energy, finding your way or hitting that right vibrational frequency where things start to click, y'all. So if spiritual project is to get on and stay on the path of grace, then the spiritual toolbox is our supply of all sorts of useful resources, wisdom that we can use to get on and stay on that path of grace. This knowledge and these practices move us closer and closer to experiencing and deepening our union with Spirit. And that's why I'm going to share with you today what I think is the most valuable and powerful tools in the spiritual toolbox. Just like that one special screwdriver or wrench that you use at home around the house for every project, today's spiritual tool is simple, it's incredibly effective, and it works on just about every spiritual project you will ever encounter. And ladies and gentlemen, I think you already know what I'm going to talk about, and that's gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful state of mind, a transformational state of being, because it is impossible for negativity to exist while we're in gratitude. Do you get that? Have you ever felt that before? Let that sink in for just a minute. So, self-pity, anger, unhappiness, fear. None of that can exist, y'all, when we are in a mind and a heart full of gratitude. The simple action of concentrating on something for which we are grateful, literally counting our blessings, makes it impossible for us to simultaneously experience negativity. You with me on that? Check your head. Believe it, yes. Gratitude crowds out and replaces all that negativity and the thoughts and emotions that go along with it, and keeping us from being in the flow. So no matter how lost or despondent, angry, or frustrated you might get at times, the simplest way to put yourself back onto the path of grace is to express gratitude. So let's do a little exercise really quick. Let's pause for just a moment and take a deep breath. And you close your eyes if you want to. Focus your thoughts on something that you're grateful for. Focus your thoughts on something that you're grateful for. You got it? Keep it there in your mind's eye for just a moment. Focusing on that one thing you are grateful for. Now take a deep breath again, and quietly to yourself, just say thank you. Thank you. So now you can open your eyes and come back. Wasn't that sort of nice? Did you find it? Did you see that one grateful thing? Expressing just one thank you, like we just did, begins to cleanse and shift our mindset and our energy. I hope you were able to feel your energy shift when we did that short exercise. There are a couple of reasons why gratitude, I think, is so powerful and effective. Gratitude shifts us into a position where we appreciate what we have rather than concentrating on what we don't have, right? Gratitude moves our spirit, from a place of lack to a mindset of, guess what? Abundance. In unity, we are taught the universe is abundant and generous. In gratitude, we actually affirm this. Also in unity, we understand like energy attracts like energy, both within us and around us. Gratitude naturally grows and spreads because of its own vibration, its own energy. And gratitude is contagious, inside and out. As a matter of fact, my mentor, Martha Creek, says, the more I am grateful for what I have, the more I have to be grateful for. I've heard her say that so many times, so God will include her today with that. So, hi, Martha. Let's just say for a minute that you go to a movie. Let's pretend that you go to a movie, and it's a comedy, and the audience enjoys a big laugh early on. And you're just laughing. Well, the film has begun to take you, both you and the audience, down a path so that you are looking for and even experiencing and expecting the next laugh, right? So the movie has created a tone and a feeling of openness to the comedy. You laugh, the audience laughs, and it grows. Y'all, that's what gratitude does too. The first I am grateful for sets a tone and starts the process. It lifts our heart, even if it's just a little bitty tiny bit. Hallelujah for that. Our emotions have begun to shift at that point. And our mind is already shifting because we have acknowledged that one I am grateful for. So just like the exercise, whatever you were thankful for a few minutes ago, that started shifting your brain. That started shifting your energy. So if we do that every day, think about what the wonderful energy you're going to be emitting out there as you go along. In that shift, we become open to even more gratitude. One of the things that makes gratitude such a special tool for our toolbox, and for anybody's toolbox for that matter, is the process of identifying and expressing gratitude. It is a deliberate act. Anybody can do it. It doesn't matter what you believe spiritually or don't believe spiritually or don't even have a spirituality. All you have to do is choose to examine your life for something that you are grateful for. So when I speak of gratitude, moving us into the path of grace, I am talking about a deliberate action that you can take. Expressing gratitude is not a belief that you gotta hold on to. It is an activity that every one of us here can engage in today. Y'all know, and Michael just talked about my dog, thank you, Michael. Y'all know that I love my dogs, and I adore my Cody boy, and I was going to talk about him today. So every day when we walk, I try my best to simply observe the world around me and see the beauty in it all. And I am grateful for what I see. It might be a flower, it might be the sunset, or sometimes the sunrise if I get up early enough, which is not very often. I see friendly neighbors, I see the birds, I see jackrabbits, and I am thankful. And it becomes my morning meditation. So as I'm walking along that Napa River, it's called a waterfront, I'm praying, I'm meditating, and I'm looking at things that I'm so grateful for. And then I start being grateful for my family. And I have this mantra in my head, and I change it up a little bit, but every day I do that. And it's my morning meditation, and it sets the tone for my day. It sets the tone as we go along to keep that gratitude throughout the day, to keep looking for that gratitude throughout the day. So, I live in a beautiful neighborhood. I think about that. I live next to the Napa River. I think about that and say thank you. And so all along the way, it just continues to grow. The more I walk, the more I see that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for all that I can see. I start thinking God of the heavens and the stars and the moons and the suns and the waters and the trees, all those different types of things. So we have a lot that we can be grateful for if we just look. Every walk that I was just talking about begins with a deliberate physical and mental choice to walk, observe the beauty around me. And I listed in my head all that I am grateful for. And I say, thank you, God. So, now, some of you might be thinking perhaps, what if I don't have a dog? Or what if I don't have a beautiful place to walk? Or a beautiful neighborhood along the Napa River? Or, not so funny, is what about people that have broken hearts? Or who have health challenges? What about people who live in anger, or grief, or fear and anxiety? How can they be grateful? Gratitude, though, is a powerful tool for people in all sorts of dire and unhappy situations. I understand that when we're heartbroken and frightened, we can't help but focus on it. It just happens. It's part of who we are. So those things are okay, but these emotions are occurring deep. Remember when I talked about forgiveness, that deep, primal brain activity back here? That's what's happening. And so the deep part of our brain doesn't reason. It just thinks, it just experiences, and it reacts. And it's not really acting, it's reacting. So the primal part of our brain is going to keep all those emotions of anger, fear, loss, all those different things right here in front and center in our minds. However, those rational, functioning, higher areas of our brain, the ones that help us grab onto that forgiveness that we talked about last time, those primal emotions are still available to us every single day, every single minute. So take grief for an example. A relationship has ended, or someone has passed on. Of course there's going to be a huge emotional response and sobbing and grieving and crying. And it's important to experience all of that. One of these days I'll talk about grief and why it's really important to go through the grief and to experience the grief. But if it gets to a point to where you are stuck in despair or unable to move forward, gratitude can help you. There's a lot of things that can help you, but gratitude can truly help you. At this time, use that rational part of your brain, the one up here, where we can think and shift our perspective. Instead of dwelling on, I'm sad about this, ask yourself, what good memories can I hold on to of this person? Did this person bring love or joy to my life, even if it's just for a little while? And then on the flip side of that, perhaps you were hurt in a relationship deeply. Then you might say, I'm grateful that toxic relationship is over. You can be grateful even in that. So by deliberately shifting the way we are perceiving the experience, we can begin to experience gratitude, which begins to unclog. Remember I talked about unclogging that valve that goes to forgiveness? Well, we have one that goes to gratitude too. And so when we start using gratitude, thinking gratitude, exhibiting gratitude, it starts unclogging all that stuff back there. And we get wonderful results from that. And our life changes. Transformation happens. And you know, the same is true for fear. Anxiety is true for all of that. So perhaps there's a dire health diagnosis someone has. And that's very frightening for any of us. Is it possible to be grateful for that problem that was found? Is it possible to express gratitude for the doctors who are going to provide care? Or even the insurance, if you have insurance. Are we grateful for that? So that we will get the help once we find out about the dire situation. So even in that, we can be grateful for something. Does that make sense? It will indeed be frightening, but we have the choice of how we want to frame it in our mind. One of the best examples of this that I can think of was years ago on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Y'all, I don't remember who she was talking to, what she was interviewing about, or what the topic actually was, but I still remember this. She said, the first thing anybody should ever do if they are fired is say thank you. And when I was watching the TV, and when I saw that, I went, what? And then I thought, that's brilliant. Because when you realize that someone is fired, it's for a reason, right? So maybe they don't belong there anymore. Maybe there's something really good ahead of them that they don't know about. So regardless of who is making the decision about that firing that she was talking about, you can count that as a blessing because look what's up ahead for you. So I just thought that was awesome, and I wanted to include that today because even in something like that, or in the dire health situation, we can find a blessing if we look for it. And we can hold on to that and just hold that one thought like we did earlier when we took that breath. Just hold that thought all day if you can. And just try to let that block out all those other thoughts. And when you need to get in despair, just get in despair and feel it and go through it. And then get out of it with something wonderful and gratitude like, call me, call Mandy if you need to. So, let's see, I've been ad-libbing what. So, learning to find the benefit in all those nooks and crannies of our lives, the ones we like, the ones we don't like. Learning to find and accept is the beginning, y'all, of living a life of gratitude as a part of our spiritual project and living the fullest, happiest life. Now listen up, y'all. This is the first step. We got to begin right there. Being willing to find gratitude, even when it may not be your first impulse. That is the start of something transformative. I'm going to say it again. The first step is looking, identifying, being willing to find gratitude, even when it may not be your first impulse. That is the start of something transformative in your life. Teaching ourselves to find the benefit in all experiences is the beginning of allowing gratitude to emanate from the very inner being of your core and out into the world. Take a deep breath, everybody. I take one too. So, with that said, may gratitude always lead you into the path of grace and be a tool that you use daily. The Dalai Lama stated, the roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation for goodness. And with that said, thank you so much. Blessings to all of you for being here today and supporting me with the talk. I love you. And go out and find gratitude today. God bless you. What we're going to do, thank you, Maggie, because I was just about to walk off. We're going to do something different for meditation today. And Michael, if we need help, will you jump up quick? We're going to play Daniel Naywood, is that his name? Daniel Naywood? Daniel, I actually know Daniel. He's a friend of mine on Facebook, and I've seen him at other Unity churches as he's traveled around, and he's been at some conventions and things like that. So he and some other people made a video about gratitude and being grateful. And so We're going to play that. If you will enjoy that with me today for our meditation. Jared, if you'll hit that slide, and then you'll have to click it twice. Turn the volume up, Jared, on my computer.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my best, you're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you're a love, you're my hands, you're a love, you're my eyes, you're a heart, you're the light, you're the dark, you're the spark, you're a fun, you're my mom, you're a wine, you're the star, you're my daughter, you're my friend, you're the end, you're my dream, you're my father, you're the ants, you're the ground, you're the girls, you're the spring, I'm human, all around, the heavens, you're the time, you're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope, you're the stars, you're the strength, you're the power, you're the path that I follow, you're the blessings that exist, the small things that are blessed, the gift to realize that all that what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I get back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I have a breakthrough, if I'm all alone. Happiness, happiness, just complaining for everything that I can be grateful for.
I'm very grateful. And I'm grateful that we had Zoom while we weren't here together too. But anyway, really quickly, I want to share with you, I was just sitting there thinking that that song really carried me through and really helped me find one grateful thing after my mom and my sister died within 3 months of each other. And that was in 2018 and 2019. And she knows all about it. But it's what led me to be here today. But at any rate, amazing things can happen when you're in the depths of despair, y'all. Amazing things can happen when you just do that little exercise we did today and find one thing that you can be grateful for. One small thing that you can be grateful for. And during that time, I was grateful that my mom took me to Unity. I was grateful that my sister had my back every day of my life. And it shifted my perception of the depths of my despair to how wonderful they were. So I just want to share that with you. That's why I shared that with you today also. It's an amazing thing. If you can't feel gratitude, go to YouTube, look that up, and play it for yourself. And God bless you all. I love you.
Thank you.